Good morning, everyone. So today I'm the BISWAS Academic Counselor of IGNOU. So today's session is again MMPH GHL2 and Human Resource Development. So today we have to discuss about Block 2. Block 2 is the managing HRD. How to manage the HRD systems. There are 4 units, unit number 4, 5, 6 and 7. Unit 4 is HRD for the employees, and unit 5 is your role of HR managers, and 6 is competency mapping, and 7 unit is analysis of performance and career planning. So now let's see. So block number 2, again in the unit 4, what are the contents? That is a conceptual development that you have to see. Then meaning and definition of the HRD. HRD for managers, function of HRD department, and for the employees, the conclusion. Then unit 5 is the role of HR managers. What are the emerging issues? Basically, what are the issues to maintain the role of the managers means what type of problems and issues or challenges are there that we have to see. And 6 unit are in details competency mapping, where the meaning, what are the meaning for the competency, history of the competency mapping, why it is needed, and some holistic approach. Some of the models are there we have to see. And last unit, the unit number 7 is analyzing purpose, the performance purpose. That's the what are the systems and what are the behavior performance management levels, and then what are the career problems, individual strategies. All these things are pertaining to block number 2. Now see the definitions. What are basically the concept of the HRD? HRD basically the aim is to sustain in the competitive market where the institute or organizations are working, and let's see how to develop the human capitals. That is the basic idea. There are 2 aspects. One is sustaining the competitive market, just a sustainable and competitive advantage. And parallelly, you have to see how to develop the employees' development, growth. That is, we can say, human capital. There are 2 dimensions, basically. In HRM, actually HRD is basically the part of your HRM. What is the HRM? The umbrella where the one of the component or one of the partition, I can say, what are the part of this the HRD. So some of the policies should be there. They are first things: planning, organizing, directing, controlling, and coordinating. There are various aspects are there, and this is the component of the HRD. An idea is basically to search the talent acquisitions and to develop them. What are the talents you have to identify within the employees, within the organizations, or within the institutions? When you have identified the talent, now stage is to develop them. And ultimately aim is to retain them so that they should not go away after getting the full-fledged training or that development. That company has to see that employee, that who is the asset of the company, they should retain in the company. Otherwise, if they leave the organizations then again your manpower ratio, I mean, then turnover will be different. So that part you have to see how to retain the employees, talented peoples. That is another issue. There are so many strategies we have to develop in the organizations. So means it's the pulse of the organization. So I can say the employees, what are the talent peoples, what you have developed the peoples, different skill development purpose through. Now they are all are your pulse of the organizations. So and needs to develop and retain the organization sustainable growth and develop. So that is the things. So many ways you can define the HRD. Now another definitions different authors has described as per their views, as per their survey, as per their observations. So author Robinson and the Myers, 1964, he has seen the HRD the process, basically the increasing the knowledge, skills, and the capabilities of the people in the society. So, as per his, he has defined it. Now, author Nedlers, in 1970, he says the HRD is a series of organized activities conducted within a specified time and designed to produce behavioral changes. So, if the employee's behavioral pattern is changed towards the growth or towards the executives, and their behavioral patterns obviously should be in positive way, positive manner, skilled, and their determinations, their commitment, everything are towards the achievement what is settled by the organizations. So that changes. We can say is a behavioral changes. When employees are more dedicated, more powerful, they are full-fledged, active. So that is the changes. So that Stadler has specified the things. Then we can say it is HRD. Now another authors, that is author Johnson, 1981. He says the HRD basically the people with the abilities. Related to abilities on the attainment of the both organizations and the personal goals. So he has pointed out focus on the abilities and personal goals. Then another author, that is Lincoln and Charles, they saying the discipline of HRD is study of how individual and group in organization changes through the learning process, through the learning. So changes can be done through the learning process. So he is saying this is the HRD. It means basically improvement, development part there. Now see another way that another authors in 1986, you see that gradually the definitions and different observations changes. Different authors are saying at time to time. Niller and Weeks, they are saying comprehensive learning systems. So HRD is basically a comprehensive learning systems. Through this way, people can develop the classroom type, meditations, simulated way, the training program, various experimental testing. So this is the way, basically the learning systems. On the job experience, that is the key to the organizational resilience of survival. If the any organizations in a survival mode, so they have to go for learning systems. This is the only way. And on-job training, on-job way experiences are needed. Now, coming to 1988, you see that slowly we are just chronologically coming from the back, 1991, then now 1988. So slowly you are see the definition has changes. Now the programs and activities. Author Smith, 1988, he's saying, HRD is a programs and different activities. Program is a long-term program, short-term program, training program, seminar, workshop, whatever the way, and a lot of activities. It's direct or indirect, instructionals and individuals, and positively affect the development of the individuals. And the productivity in turns, he says, the productivity will be increased. Ultimately, when the productivity will be increased, it is your directly proportional. So profit also will be increased. So profit of the organizations will be increased. So different authors are saying this is the way the HRD. Now go further. There's a letter again, 1989. After 1 year, he says, no, it's the learning experience. Now the HRD is the organized learning experience provided for the employees within a specified period of time to bring about the possibility of the performance improvement and personal growth. Now here see step by steps, you can see there are what the way it's changed, the concept has changes time to time. Now here actually pointed out, it's already in the bold letter I have said, performance improvement and personal growth. If we do in the organizations for all the employees, definitely the company will be profitable. So this is the HRD definition he is saying that way. Now 1989, again another authors, Grillet and Egland, they are saying the advancements of the knowledge. You see the point out, what the point actually I highlighted the technical points, technical way, there is the advancement of knowledge. Knowledge, okay, no problem, knowledge is okay, but you have to look after, focus on advancement, skill development, advancement of the skills, competencies. You are competent, yes, master, you're good, efficient, but it is not enough. You have to see the latest technologies, latest state of the art technology he has adopted or not. So everything are now advanced what are coming, advancement. So this is another way he has defined HRD. Now there are so many authors are written in different ways. Now 1990, again Smith, he has redefined his own observation. That's the optimum methods. Systematic improvement of the performance and the productivity through the training, education, development, leaderships, and finally the personal goals. Then Garavan's 1991, after 1 year, he is saying no, HRD is a strategic management of the training, development, and the management professional educations, and finally utilizes his knowledge and the detail of the skills of the individual employees. So now you see where we are now. Earlier, the definition was different. Now today, the HRD definitions is totally, it is just top up. A lot of things has top up. What are the things? Now traditional things are not there. Now we have to see based on the situations, global situations, and how to just the upgrading. The definition is also upgrading now. Now, further, 1999. Now another dimension has come, definition that is by the Rona and Loyam. They are saying enhance learning, human potential, and high performance in work-related environment. So now you see what the revolutions, what the revolution of HRD, what the way environment are coming. So HRD in McLean and McLean 2001, he is saying HRD is a process of activity that either initially or over the long term has the potential to develop adults work-based knowledge. Just mind up, I'm just read out once again. Potential to develop adults work-based knowledge, expertise, productivity, and satisfaction, whether for personal or group gain or for the benefit of the organizations, community, nation, and whole of the humanity. He just added in any very broad way. It's very broad. He just added his nation is also he has included whole of the humanity. So we can say that is the nature. Now definition is continuing because 2004 again Harrison and Kessels they are saying skillful planning is needed in the HRDs so that individual potential can be enhanced through the competence, adaptability, collaboration, and knowledge creation activity of whole work for the organizations. So what about the work in detail, all levels, every stage of work, even in the peon, even in the sweeper, even in the receptionist. So everybody has to have a collaborative have to do it. So knowledge creating it is an activity to the whole work for the organizations. Now, there is a set of systematic and the planned activities. So many authors define this way. Now I have to go for the final definitions. In 2005, HRD defined as both an organizational role and a field of professional practices. Now here you see organizational role, whatever you are functioning the things, at the same time professional practices. So in this contribution to the both long-term strategy performance. That is a going along. Today I have found home very good. Some of the employees today, this year, he has performed very excellent, 100% marks. Even he has prized for the best executive because of the things. And HRD. But in the next year, he is deteriorating. His performance is deteriorating. So what are the HRD has done through this training program or things? So it is wasted because the performance level has goes down. So that's why you have to focus on the long-term strategy performance. So that at least continue 5 years, that persons can give an output at a straight way. There should not be any fluctuations. Now, managers, HRD for the managers. Managers coming with the employee part. So employee HRD is viewed as a subsystems of a large systems because there is a company, there is a lot of systems are there. So HRD you can consider as a subsystem also, HRD. You cannot neglect the HRD part. HRD has a proactive approach because you have to see the futuristic things, values, trust, openness, explorations, managing conflict, etc. And with reducing the human wastage, and you have to see that there should not be any wastage in the human resources. Means optimizations, utilities. What are the sources are? Optimally, you have to use the things. Resources should not be wasted. So there are three things are there. 3 C's I can say. C. 3 C's. Capabilities. First word is C. Commitment. Again, first word is C. And culture. C. That's why it is a 3 C's. So this is also, I can say, the sub-component of the HRD. Is entails because it is a, we can say the encompasses, HRD are encompasses. There is capabilities, commitment, culture. So a person's knowledge and skill set are depending on these three C's. If these 3 C's are improved, definitely the person's knowledge and skill set will be improved. Workplace performance, another aspect. Then performance. What are the performance are depending on is a part of your education and emphasis on the learning because the performance can be improved only through learning process. If you are not learn the things, then your performance will stagnate because somewhere you will be stopped. You cannot go further until and unless you are go for the study or learning process. So learning is very important, so we emphasize on these things. Lot of strategy should be included in the policy of the organizations. Now, to how to improve the productivity, to enhance their staff quality, one of the things aspect in a micro levels, everybody's quality should be good. Then only you can increase the productivity. To help the people learn new skills, because new skills you have to learn it. Then only you can cope up the situations, perform better in their current jobs. Because if you are learned everything, then you can definitely perform the jobs. Then maximizing the potential of its people resources. So what are the potential you have within the organizations? You have to identify the things. When you are identified the particular people, this type of potential they have, that you have to, through this the process, you have to increase so that you have to maximize his potential. You can utilize his potentials in a maximum levels. Now there are some of the diagrams are there. It is available in the study material. Same thing which we have discussed. Basically, some of the primary functions are there and some of the your secondary functions are there. In the HRD, if we say, then within the HRD there are some of the primary functions. That is the training and development, career development, organizational development. There are three things all are primary function. Other than whatever the functions are there, these all are secondary function. The role of a role analysis of the developers, the performance appraisal systems, then potential appraisal systems, performance counseling. So all these things are even in the human resource your HRIS, that is your IS systems, strategic systems, information systems. These are HR information systems, and the research. That part is also your secondary functions, because first main functions are training, career, and organizational development. So now same thing we can now here describe this diagram. Now it is written form. Training and development, leadership and executive development, basically target on these things, focus on this, management and supervisory development, and then your organizational development and career development. That is the way you have the primary functions. Secondary functions are actually as per the chart. And three basic functions are basically your role analysis, then your employee orientations, counseling. So things are important, the part of your secondary functions. Now we can go for the role of the managers. Role of the managers is the emerging issues. The emerging issues for the HRD professionals and the role of the HRD professionals in organization company. Now we see the HRD managers play a significant role in organizations HRD. Significant because manager, he has a very significant role, and HRD plays a dynamic role in coping with the changes. If any changes occur, first manager has to face, and then he can support to the subordinates as well. So emerging issues facing the HRD professionals. The external business environment defined in terms of the political, social, economic, technological, and legal environment, sometimes government regulations, these all are the external environment or external things. That is also a part of your challenge. You have to how to cope up. An internal business process is also there along with these things, because apart from your external business, internal part is also there. That is basically work culture, then your various challenges in the HR. So in way we can see that in totality the organizations as a whole, because any organizations feel there are phases, there are some outer world, you can say there are some external business, because they have to interconnect with the government, interconnect with the supplier, interconnect with the builders, export. So there are so many other things are there linked. And internally also, there are so many departments are there. They have to interlink with the finance, marketing, productions, and there are everywhere a lot of challenges are there because of the environment. Because both the environment, external and internal, everywhere changes are there. It is not a stagnant, I mean static changes, because sometimes it's dynamic natures. So then every time you have to analyze the things and do the best options, alternatives, and take decisions accordingly. Now, challenges. What are the challenges in a role of manager, as a HR manager? What are the challenges you have to face? That is diversity, because diversity is one of the issues in the workplace. Different people are coming from different cultures, different language barriers. Their concept is different, and their upbringing is also, all together. There are many challenges to streamline to everybody, in particular in one row. So put them in a particular one row. It is really a challenge. So diversity is one of the challenges. Competing in a global economy, because you have to compete. If you are in an export-oriented company or international company, definitely you have to other countries. You have to interact with the other countries also. So that is the way some competitions are there. You have to compete enough to deal with the internationally and nationally also. Then reduces the competency mismatch. The main challenge is the mismatch. Suppose the skill, because the mismatch, why this mismatch is coming? Because of the mismatch. Skilled, professional attitudes are not there. Knowledge, so all are, because of that, mismatch is coming. Concept is not clear what to do, that the right decision in the right time, not taking. So all are basically the part of your mismatch. That's why the competence you have to improve. That's why reducing the competence mismatch. So that is a challenge, I can say. Then your persistent independent learning. The learning process is very much important, because all the employees should be motivated to do something at least half an hour or 1 hour study is very much needed, and the present scenario. Promoting the organizational learning. So that's why you have to promote the learning. You should have a good library. Latest book should be there. Employees should be given some time for the study times, or some books should be, latest books should be there for their motivation, conflict resolutions, leadership skills. Different type of books should be there, technical and non-technical, human development skills. That type of books you have to purchase and put it in the library, and give instructions to notification that every employee should have at least 8 hours or 10 hours for the month. They have to allot for this study. They can go to the study library and read the things. So this type of system should be developed in the organizations. Managing the workforce generations. So that is another challenge, is how to manage the workforce generations. Different workforce are coming, different educational levels, and they are different way they are coming. So all these things, how to integrate, that is a challenges. Now, role of HRD professionals in their organizations. They have to encourage it, because those who are professionals, HRD professionals, they have to encourage the thing, and they have to support, create for the learning environment. As I said, they have to create some learning environment. They have to take some class. Internal faculty should be developed. They have to take every weekend. They can have at least half an hour before leaving in the end of be working there Friday. Suppose in the Friday weekend, at least second half for lecturing systems, what we have done for enhancement of the things. So seniors, those who are professionals, they have to take a class for the particular every department. So all the department should have a nodal officers. She should have a professionals, and you have to give us some lectures on these things, latest lectures, so that how to develop things. So knowledge is the most important source of the competitive advantage. Everywhere, HRD are totally now the pillar. Knowledge is knowledge. There is no way out. We have to have a good knowledge about these things. So operationally, then HRD worker, and for the workers. Now workers, के लिए क्या होना चाहिए HRD? HRD should consider taking any all opportunities to demonstrate their and investing the employee capitals increases. So HRD has to invest. Sometimes maybe the top management are thinking this is a waste of the money, it's only investment, no outcome, outcome is not seen. Basically the outcome is maybe after 2 years you can see the debenture or the profit will start because it is the investment. HRD is just like investment. And then after that you can encash all the things, your profit margin will be high. So coming 4 years or 3 years, 5 years, whatever the things, if you invest for the human purposes, for the employee purposes, their development, their health issues, their knowledge power, you just invest. Maybe after 4 or 5 years, you can see their level of performance, their productivity will be increased, everything will be done. So increase, and not only that, increasing the leadership capability also. So that is the area of HRD has to look after for the workers. Then practitioners of the organizations, there are three main sub-functions. What are the things? The role of a learning specialist. Then what are the activities for the training? Education and training and educational activities. So there are three methods are there. Through this method, you have to adapt lot of game, lot of your can say the mechanisms. There are so many mechanisms for the how to specialize for particular things. So as a learning specialist, so you have to have a different activities. Through these activities, you can train them, and education and training and educational activities. Because activities is one of the things, it is a reality. Because the activity, if you are not doing the activity, then theory sometimes it is a backup and some sort of your supporting systems. So activity is very much needed. Now see the part of human resource, your development managers. Another thing, audit. As a HRG professionals can be within the organizations. Professionals can be a consultant. You can hire somebody to look after the things. From the HR department also somebody has to deal with all these things. Give some responsibility or some directives. He has the role authority to do all these things. So audit is very important. And assessment of the learning. There are two things. So then based on this you have to establish a training program, because until unless how you can develop the training program. Suppose you are a HR manager, some prepare some of the training program. But first things question is what type of training plan is required that you should know. How we can get it. So that's why the audit is required. You have to go for audit, all the department, where it is really need for this training, what type of training is required. So you have to list out this type of training is required. Technical, motivational, or your health wise. So you have to do things, then you have to assess the things. What are the level of things? What type of program is required for 3 days or 4 days or 1 month or 2 months? So you have to assess the things. Then finally you have to prepare the training plan. Then it will be fruitful. So managing the organizational learning systems. Another thing, what are the learning systems? That also you have to manage it. Maybe LMS, learning method systems, or maybe other portals. You have to develop some of the portals. Through this portal you have to keep. So all this is a part of your learning systems. Now the administrators. What is the role of the administrators? Administrators are basically the top levels. They are also taking some initiatives. They have to involve all the things. HRD practitioners or the managers in an organizations must play the following role as the administrators on behalf of top levels. They have assigned the things, CEO or directors. Well, okay, Mr. So-and-so, you are the administrator for the development of the HRD. On behalf of me, you do it. So this is how we have to give some authority and directives to the particular persons. So that we can say it is your HRD administrators. His role is what he will do. He should be long term and the short term planning. You have to search it so that where the long term program is required, where the short term is program, that way he has to prepare some of the strategic part. And his strategic role, he has to play as a strategic role play, so that it should be further enhance the things. Now you see further unit, HR as a unit involve the creating the maintaining both tangible and the intangible assets for management of the organizational systems. Planning the HRD departments is another thing. Budget you have to see it, keeping a short-term and long-term plans, as I said, it's a very important functions. Then managing acquisitions, development and retention of the employees of the organizations, as well as the staffing of the HRD department, because he may reshuffle the things. He can hire some of the field persons in the HR so that he can take his idea from the field, what the experience he has gained, that experience can be in cash in the present scenario. So this is the ideas. So that is the only you can make the good strategy for these things. Internal and external relationship is also important. He has nodal officers as a part of the administrators. He has to see the internal and external relationships are really good or not. That only he can have a bond. Employee, that is an employer bond and the practice. How much bonding they have. Or this is the way you have to branding the employees. Employer branding. Yes, this company is good. Wipro is very good things. Infosys, very good company. They have a well-knitted external and internal part. They have managed. The relationship is very good. They have to see the supplier or vendors. There are not any complaint or vice versa. So everything has to see. Now, role of a consultant. Now, what is the role of a consultant? HRD manager, the first thing is it should be foremost, you have to look after is as a line manager. Secondary, you have to see it as a consultant. First thing is line manager, where the really problem related to staff organizational unit or department. Secondary, and the second HRD managers act as a consultant, so that he can assist the line management in resolving the problems, their personal problems, productivity, and the organizational issues. Now, see the competency mapping. Now coming to the competency mapping, this is very important part. Strength, one strength. Main idea is competency mapping. You have to identify some measuring systems are there, some tools and mechanisms are there. Based on these, you have to identify the individual strength. There are generally two areas are there. There is one of the emotional intelligence, or we can say emotional quotients, that is the EQ, and the strength of the individuals in area like team structure, leadership skills, and decision making. So there are two areas you have to see. As the interview time, the time of interview also, personal managers and psychologists, they have to identify, notice the things. Yeah, how much he is emotionally intelligent or not. Or at the right time, right decisions, and confidently he is saying or not. That is one of the things we can try to observe it, emotional intelligence part. And there's another area he has to see he is capable of taking the leadership or not. That type of potentiality he has or not. What is the structure? He can make the team structure or not. And he can take the decision for the staff or not, individual and the company organizations. So all these are two areas are generally noticed, to be noticed at the time of recruitment as well as for the posting time, or maybe in between also. You have to observe the things. So competency making team, they have to observe the thing. They have to assess the strength, what type of strength they have. Emotionally strength is good, or leadership skill is good, or combination of two. So Mapping basically identifying the emotional strengths is that many employers now personally screen employees to hire the people with specific competencies. Now, some of the companies are basically they are oriented based on these things. Okay, that what the equipment particular these positions. So there should be emotional strength people is required. Even though Katavada is uh, other things are maybe considerable little bit, but emotional strengths people are required, particularly these positions. So this is the way they have to segregate it. And some of the area, no leadership is required. Emotional definitely will be there, emotional intelligence. At the same time, leadership skills, team management, decision making process, he is expert or not, that the area are focusing. There's the number one, number two that you can weigh. You can prioritize the things. There are different at the time of selection of procedures. You can prioritize the things. You have to focus on emotional intelligence part, or you have to focus on the leadership part, the technology, or that IQ. That is that IQ part is there or not. So now different theories are there. In the Mansfield 2004, he has presented a broader view. He has given us some broader view of the competency. So competent people, how you define as competent people? Are those who follow the rules and procedures without questions. Competency meant the compliance that stressed over the need for the personnel to take more responsibility and accountability. So this is the way you can identify, yes, he is a very competent people. You can identify that yes, because he is following everything, he rule, maintaining all the rules. That means he is a very meticulous and dedicated persons, committed persons, and then you can see his responsibility is also very good. Adaptability, very easily he can adopt all the things in the organizations. So that means he's a very competent. So you have to identify. There are so many things in this. Three different uses of the competence. Used to describe that people need to be able to do and the environments. Second is describe, that is the happens. What are the happens? Another thing is people are liking. People are likes because most of the people are liking. It's very friendly, very homely, and very friendly. But this is the way you can identify that is the things. So need, first you have to need, then you have to see the happens, and finally. Now classification of the competencies. How to classify the things. Threshold competencies and the differentiating competencies. Threshold competencies there are essential competencies. There should be a generic knowledge, motive, self-image, social role, and skill, which are essential for the perform the job. So you have some minimum benchmark. You have to define इतना होना चाहिए इस इंसान का अंदर में इतना चीज होना चाहिए ये competencies को होना चाहिए. So उसका generic knowledge भी होना चाहिए, motivation भी होना चाहिए. So you have to have some. This is a threshold point that this is the minimum required. Then another competency you have to see, that is your the distinguish between the superior performer and from the average performer. Suppose they have to say two data, superior performers. Some of the listed the things. These things are, if he answer the things, if he do the things, it can be a superior performer. Or some of the average performers, you have to have a list of some things. If he do these things, that things, these levels or these tolerance levels or these margins or up to this much, 60%, 80%. So this is the way you can have some average performance level and superior performance level. There are both the levels you have to identify some things. Now you compare the things. What are the differences? So that is that type of competency when you are analyzing the things. That is differentiating competencies. And finally you have to fix DSA. He is nearer to superior performer or average performance that we can based on this chart, based on this standard. And basically you have to make some standard based on this. You can define he has a superior performer and he has a average performer, where you have to give a some of the baseline. Above the line, If he perform, he can declare as a superior performer, and if he below the baseline, then maybe this is the way you can do it. So basically, there are two competencies are classification. Basically, there are classifications. Now, competencies are further classified: business awareness, then organizational awareness, technical skills, and your external awareness. There are some of the technical functions out there. Now, managerial skills classification is all I are talking about the classifications. That is the managerial skills that is customer oriented, is really they are well dealing or not, he is capable to deal the customers or not, planning skills, yeah, the plan, scheduling, and all these things, nicely doing. So that type of skills are there. Judgment, immediately you can take the judgment. Yes, he can motivate the supplier or customers, and he can take the judgment at that time. Leadership skills is all other part of your managerial skills. Now coming to your human attributes. It is the main things, because you see, I think out of that the classification what we have said, as far as my opinion, human attributes are will be the top number one, because nowadays it is very required. Communications, how nicely, how best you are communicating the things. That is the competency can be charged with easily. You are communicating the things. You are a communicating power, language power. You are convincing power. Then definitely it will be more and more advantage. Teamwork and the interpersonal effectiveness, integrity. Always you have to some adjustment or some of the in a very humbly way. You are kind. So many ways that power you have, how to integrate the pupils. Follower, you are making more and more followers. You are not followers, but followers are the fans followers. So that is the one of the capacity you are gaining. Transparency. You have to honest, trusty, should be the focus while interacting with the people. When you are interacting with the people, even I am a manager. Now I am interacting with my subordinate. So I have to trust. I have to make him comfortable to say whatever ideas, whatever the problems should be. See, so that should be transparent way you have to behave the things. So interacting the people, that power, that type of things. Based on this, you can categorize this type of competency here. If it is less, you have to go for the improvement. If it is good, then you can say that is the way to classify. That yes, this person is very good communicators. This person is not communicators, and he has a very interface the people very nicely, tackle the people. So this is the way you have to classify things. Now history of the competency. Now to go for the history. First, work on the competency mapping. That is I think I know that is your Arthashastra, the Chanakya. There is one of the counselor. He is the royal counselor and the prime minister of Vedic India. He wrote in the Arthashastra. The first work is the competency. He first worked on competency. You see, in the management, in the organizations, we are in the management, we are professional of the management process. Still, we are following the Arthashastra, where he has mentioned the first work is the competency. Then only you can give it work for you. Most of the cases in the organization, what happened? We are simply giving the work, you do it. Now you recruited, this first package you are already fixed, company is doing, so this is the work. No. First you see his competency, where is intentions, where he is really skilled or not. You have to map out, then accordingly you have to put the work. Then you will get the output very nicely. If he is not there, no problem, training program is there. You can train him, you can, some learning process you can do it. You have to develop the things, then only again you have to give the work. So first things is competency. In Indian Academy of HRD, Ahmedabad, TV Rao, the learning system, there are so many institutions are there where this type of skill, how to skill the people, how to mapping the things, intelligence things are competency mapping models are there. So this is how to basically assessment the things and give them. Now, need for the competency mapping. Why it is required? Competencies is becoming the increasingly significant because that's why I'm highlighted. Competencies is becoming increasingly significant, and you have to clearly outline positions and a list of competencies to effectively for efficiently fulfill each functions. So that's why the competency mapping analysis of an individual's SWOT, SWOT, that is basically uh, uh, your strength, weakness, opportunity, and your threat. That three aspect you have to understand, and accordingly, the professional progress are required. So this is the very important. Then only you can have a good competency mapping analysis. Now, another thing you have to find in the subjective knowledge and skills, behavior, and capacities necessary because you have to have a good capacities. Then developing the workforce analysis, basically that analysis are giving a tools. It's a giving assist. If you have an analysis, basically data, the data are classified in such a way. Based on this, you can see, yeah, yes, this much development is required. This is the gaps are there. This is the existing gaps. So we have to fulfill the gaps. This is the things. So that is the significance of the competency mapping. So what the question is, why it is needed? That's why you have to see it is really needed. It is now proved because you have to identify the people's capacity. Then only can give you one. What are the gaps are there? This is the way you have to answer the things. Now, another way, see the actual and projected outcome. Initially, the program has there. You have some training program. Then gap you have to identify. How? Is it between the actual and the projected outcome before the training and after the training? Suppose you have some training program. This much 10 people has come, and before that, before training start, 1 or 2 days, we just discuss all the things, and you can see their actual positions. What are the things are there? And then finally, the projected outcomes, which actually were required after the training, they should be. That things, you can get it through this training program. It is to help to enhance the key performance areas. So you can identify the gaps. And you are really performing the competency mapping or perform or not. That also you can see through this program. So that means what I mean to say, the competency mapping are related to based on the training program. Because based on the training program only you can get the outcomes. Isn't it? So you see, this is the way you can understand. Okay. So now skill gap analysis. Again, the same thing. What are the skills you have? Appropriate capabilities are there or not of the workers? What are the technical knowledge, human knowledge? What are the things here? That competency is there or not? Maybe you have to give some training, and after that you see how much he has gained, what the way he is performing. That analysis is required. You have to assess the things, and definitely you will get the his gaps can be identified. So now, basically the focus on the specific knowledge areas and the abilities, and they require the immediate attentions. Means focus. Again, I am telling you that is the knowledge. The knowledge area is very important. How to develop the peoples? Only knowledge. Clearing the concept. Then only you can do this thing. So immediate attentions are to be focus on should be there. how to improve their abilities. Career planning is one of the important, is assist the development of the company. But here actually, what is the significance? We are talking about the significance of the competency mapping. Means if you have a good term competency mapping systems or program, then you can also have a good career planning phase also. So you know this persons can be put it in manager position. This person is really in production part is very intelligent in this area, so you can put it in the marketing. These persons are very much people oriented, knowledge power is there, so you can put it in the HR. So this is the way it will help. That competency mapping will help you to their planning, career planning also. You can transfer the people in this way. They are really capable of handling the project or not. As a project manager, he is really fit for or not. So that all these things can be analyzed. I can identify the things from the competency. So now, to improve the institutional standards, educational quality, instruction effectiveness, everything are very easily can be identified. For example, here actually I am just giving a lecturing or some of this session is going on. I am as a professional, particular this area, I am delivering. But my performance can be judged by the students, those who are learners, learning. They are getting the knowledge or not. At the time of exam, they are getting the good marks or not. Correctly, they are writing or not. That is the my performance. I mean, this is the way what the way I'm instructing the things, what the way I'm trying to explaining. That is just really the standards or not. That is the things part. So government institution, organizations are always working to improvement of the institutional standards. Maybe verbally, maybe structured way, maybe the sketch, maybe on-job trainings. So there are so many ways out there how to instruct the things. Basic idea is to improve the knowledge. It can be applicable in organizations, in the institution where you are working. Main things to develop. Now, competency models. There are cluster models are there. Competencies, behavioral indications, indicators are there. What the way he is behaving or not. Maybe you can put in a team, and really you have to observe it. Really, is as a team is working or not. Or maybe you have to put in as individual work. Yes, what the way he is performing. Some people are individually is very expert. He is doing very fast. But when you are putting in the as a group, maybe his performance is deteriorating. He has not that much integration ideas, but maybe his behavioral patterns change. Why that type of indications? There's a lot of indicators that are based on these. You can identify his capacity. You can map the things, people's experiences. So degree of proficiency also can also each skill of the individual and then to measure the things against the performance benchmarks. Now, generally, there are 5 levels. Beginning stage, elementary stage, and intermediate stage. There are so many stages out there. Then advanced stage, expert stage. There are so many modules are there. Different the sequence wise. Then skills and knowledge in the last. Now self-image and motive. These all are the model of the competency. Now some of the professional knowledge abilities. Nowadays the knowledge-based capabilities and in your social maturities there are not. These are holistic competency models are there in a very broader way. And then your social maturity, how much your application skills, how much you can apply the things. Different so many tests are there, your reasoning test, your aptitude test. Through this way you can identify how much he has. Mathematical, arithmetical capabilities, all are the part of it. So knowledge, skills and abilities required for an effective job performance. Then behavioral indicators, as I say. Then your some of the steps are there that how to do things, profiling the organizations, role profiling, then your identifications. These all are the different steps how to measure the competency. then compilations of the things. You have to, what are the things are gathered, that you have to compile the things and define the competency. Then finally you have to finalization for the validation of the model. Yes, we have done this. So a lot of survey is required, and your company experts in the particular field, and there are so many who identify the things. Basically, the professional has to identify. Past leaders can identify. This is the assessment is another thing. You have to assess the tools and the profile of the each individual strengths and the your limitations, the tool of the procedures, and qualified individuals in certain roles. These all are your assessment. Through these, you have to assess the things. Then your purpose. What are the things? Deciding the purpose. Then your characteristics, dimension to be measured. Then tools and techniques. So all are your designing the assessment centers. Then establish the link. Basically, link between you have to establish the link. Pilot test you have to done it. The design the assignment format. These all are activities of the your assessment centers. Then you have to first. There are another tools is there. There's the behavioral anchored rating tools, scales, BAR bars. Differentiate the things effective and the best and the bad performance. You have to differentiate things during the interview times. Interviewers and the candidate conditions you can identify. What type of interactions based on these you have to assessment of things. Then some of the psychometric tests are there based on the your language which is what type of language you are using, certain degree of proficiency, and arithmetic computations, reasoning, as I say, image utilizations. Through this way you can also identify the assessment of things. Then your most accurate method, your method of determining the individual's work and variable competencies. That is the gap analysis is one of the very important things, because through these assessment centers, the gap analysis is very important, because then only you can identify the area has to be developed, where the really development is required. The HRD will fulfill it. So a lot of case studies and your exercises are there. Through this way also you can identify the competency also by the group discussion also. You can put some topics and as a group, some title you can give and let them discuss, let them debate. From based on this, you can also identify their capability, what the way he is speaking, what the way he interacting, what the way he is debating, what his part is trying to convincing the things or not. So so many games are there basically. So that this is the way you can identify the gap analysis. So I think this is the way I think to cover up the things. So thank you very much. Thank you.